Never cast a clout till May be out. And although this film was actually made in April last month, I've just put this wee intro in to kind of explain that I always go into the hills until about May with that saying in the back of my head. There's been a few times years ago I was caught out not having ice axe and crampons and all the winter gear. And I think never cast a clout till May be out is a very good saying to remember if you're going into the Scottish Hills. Because at this time of year, and you may have seen this in some of my videos a few weeks ago, where I've been going out and when I've left the car, it's been really sort of spring-like, and I'd even go as far to say it was maybe summer-like. But as soon as you get any elevation and up into the hills, it can still be winter up there. And as I said before, there's been a few times I've been caught out, and you learn from your mistakes. I always take my crampons and ice axe, usually well into May, unless I know it's been really warm period and there's not going to be any snow up there. So this is a wee film that I did a few weeks ago, and I'd actually gone out looking for the snow, and with the clocks going forward in April, or the end of March I think it was, it gives you that extra bit of time during the week to get up the hills after work, and it doesn't get dark till later. So I went up my local hill looking for a wee bit of snow, and you can see from this footage that it was nice when I left the car, really quite sunny at some points, but when I was on top of the mountain, winter was definitely still full swing. It was certainly wild on the top and the snow was spinning around the summit. But an hour beforehand, I was heading up the hill from the car, and it was certainly a lot warmer and a lot more spring-like, and I was headed up a familiar path. Ah, there she is, a bit of sunshine. That's the first bit of sunshine that I've seen all day. And this evening I'm heading up my local hill, and the objective is to try and find some snow. We're well into April now, and one of the advantages about this time of year is that the clocks have sprung forward and there's lots of daylight, and I can stay out in the light until about half past 8, 9ish perhaps, before it gets dark. And there was lots of snow last night in certain places. Up at the Cairngorm ski centre they recorded at 600 metres about 40 centimetres of snow, which is probably the most snow that's fallen since October, and it's come very late. As I said, we're into April and there's lots of April showers. Anyway, as I said, the advantage of this time of year is you can go out for evening hikes, and it's about 5 o'clock now, about 5:30, and the weather forecast was an improving one. As you can see, right on cue, the sun comes out, and I kid you not, this is the first time the sun has shown itself all day, and there's some lovely blue sky above. So I'm going to crack on up here, up to Ben Verrackie, and see if we can find some snow. Fingers crossed it's not all melted away. Let's go. One of the things about hiking and walking when the weather's changeable is deciding when to get the bag off and put the waterproofs on. I know you can see over there it's blue skies, but the way the weather's coming is this way. It looks pretty grey. So I think it's about time to get the hard shell on and try and stay dry. Right, time to do this. You probably can't tell from this footage, but it was starting to snow at this point, and I was starting to get a bit damp with that jacket on, so it was time to get the waterproof jacket on. And it's always a dilemma when to put it on, and I've often been caught out thinking, oh, it's going to blow through, and by the time I eventually give in and put the jacket on, I'm pretty soaking. So I think today I made the right choice. Although, as always happens, as soon as I'd got the waterproof jacket on and my gear on and my winter goggles and what have you, something happened. And of course, the other thing that always happens when it's changeable weather is, as soon as you've stopped and got soaked getting your waterproofs on, and you finally get your big red hard shell on and your goggles on, your gloves on, and you start walking, this happens. That's right, the bloody sunshine comes out. Anyway, not going to moan. If the sun stays out, I'll be happy, but I don't think it will. Let's see what happens. It was still looking okay at this point, and I could see Ben Veraki, and it had its white coat on. There was a nice covering of snow at the top, but I could also see some black clouds gathering behind. So as I mentioned earlier on, one of the main reasons I came out today was to see if I could find some snow. And I can get a good view of the mountain now, and if I turn you around, let's just spin you around, you can see, let's just move you up there. See behind me, there's a wee bit of snow on the top. It's certainly not the 40 centimetres that fell overnight further north, but it'll do me for now. I think it'll be nice fresh, well, when I say nice fresh snow, probably horrible fresh snow for this time of year, because in April it doesn't tend to be white fluffy powdery stuff. It'll be gooey, slushy, horrible snow at the top there. We'll soon find out. We'll get up there and see what it's like. Up I went, and as I thought, that big black grey cloud started to descend and then capsule the mountain, and before long the snow was on and I was heading up through the snow line with the snow falling around about. And I was right, at this point anyway, the snow was that kind of April, slushy, soft, wet snow. A bit slippy in places, but certainly not consolidated, or fluffy and powdery for sure. As I got higher and started to approach the summit of Ben Veraki, I was certainly glad of remembering that old saying, never cast a clout till May be out, which basically means don't get rid of your warm clothes until May is well and truly gone. And I was certainly glad of having my full winter gear with me at this point. It was blowing a holle and the snow was coming down hard and heavy. So I got to the summit and I soon skirted round the back to try and get some shelter to stop, to get some photos and have a bite to eat. Don't know if you can see it in the camera. Let's come out here a wee bit out of the wind. The summit's just there. I don't know if it's picking up in the camera or not. Yeah, and the weather's closed in at the top. It's kind of blown about. I'm glad I've got the goggles on. But I found some snow, that's for sure. Look at that. I can see it flying into it catches the wind. Off it goes. So I've got my snow. I'm quite happy. There's not as much snow here as there was about a week and a half ago when I was here. There was a lot more. But yeah, who cares? At this time of year it's just nice to get in. It's funny how you get excited by it. Woo! There we go, that's me in the elements now. Blowing a holle. So, I'm not going to linger. I'm going to take a few photos of the snow, excuse me, and then just head back down the hill. Plenty of daylight left, so no rushing back down before it's dark. Ah! Let's go! Woo! Ah! Having enjoyed a brief respite from the elements behind the summit cairn, I soon decided it was time to pack up and get back down the hill, and I was battling straight into the gale at this point. And the snow didn't look like didn't show any signs of stopping. I was kind of hoping that it might blow through and I might get a view from the summit, but yeah, that wasn't going to happen. So I made my way down and the snow continued. It was, yeah, felt like the middle of January as opposed to the middle of April. Just another reminder to always take your winter gear well into spring, especially in the Scottish Highlands.